What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with another Destiny 2 video. And we've got the final weekly reset coming up before Ash and Iron, which means we're in a pretty interesting place in terms of the game right now. There's a lot of anticipation from players to see how all of the changes pan out when we get to the update next week. And a heads up worth keeping in mind this week, of course, we're likely to get more details about Ash and Iron. I assume Bungie want to show us some of the new content, as well as additional commentary about the changes themselves. We will have the reveal for Renegades next Tuesday, which will be immediately before Ash and Iron drops, so it could be that Bungie hold off to show us the new stuff when we actually get the live thing. But otherwise, there will be plenty of communications. In today's video though, we'll talk about some new weapons coming to the game this week, and they'll be able to drop at high tiers. There'll also be new cosmetic rewards, the return of the heavy metal event, and we've got a couple of other updates to round up from Bungie here as well. So if you guys find the video helpful, do us a favor and hit subscribe, as around half of my viewers are not actual subscribers yet. That would really help me out, but now let's get into it. A quick heads up initially, Bungie have said there will be no surges in the portal this week, and that's to ensure that there are no issues with scoring or Guardian rank lockouts. We did have the lockout a couple of weeks back, and then Bungie put the score accelerator on last week, which it turns out was actually making it harder to get A scores in portal activities, which is pretty wild. So they've essentially said they're disabling all of it to ensure that we don't have that issue, and then when update 9.10 launches, which is the September update with Ash and Iron, they'll have a fix in place so that issues like this hopefully won't happen again. Definitely pretty frustrating there. Otherwise, they've also said, in relation to seasonal challenges, to get all of them done now before Ash and Iron, as they will be reset, and presumably that means they also can't be held onto to use for XP in the new reward pass next week. So those are the housekeeping updates initially. Otherwise, this week, outside of reveals and further conversation about Ash and Iron, heavy metal returns to the Crucible. I'm sure there'll be a handful of players who didn't actually touch this when it first came around in Heresy. I literally played one game of it because I was away that weekend that it was originally released, but this time it does return with some weapons as rewards, which are actually new, unique weapons for the season. So, of course, Heavy Metal is a 3v3 vehicle combat mode, which is Briggs versus Drakes. And by playing it, of course, we'll be able to rank up in the event pass. Bungie have said there'll be a new emblem called Heavier Duty, available for rank 5. We can see what that one looks like. Pretty nice. Then at rank 10, there'll be a holofoil of the new sword, with rank 15 dropping a holofoil for the new shotgun. Beyond that, other rewards will include the Griffin, which is the exotic sparrow for Heavy Metal. Bungie introduced this back in Heresy. The main thing that makes it unique though is that it actually has weapons on it. So firstly, there's combat controls with a primary weapon, but additionally a secondary weapon, and that will inherit the damage type of the driver's equipped super. So not something I've earned personally. It also has standard drive. Reports are that it's not crazy powerful in terms of the weapon output, but I guess there's something a bit different to play around with, and a fairly interesting or unique looking model on the thing as well. Now, the shotgun itself is actually a new archetype. I should also mention, it would appear that there will be engrams dropping tier 4 versions of these weapons, depending on power level and Guardian rank. I'm not sure if Bungie will give us a kind of Solstice style treatment where we can potentially get tier 5 drops. I certainly hope that is the case, but in terms of the weapons themselves, actually, they have the potential to be pretty good. So there is the Sinancia, which is a solar waveframe sword. It looks like it was originally designed for Arms Week and was even promoted on the Arms Week pop-up card, but has been sort of changed and reskinned for Heavy Metal, I guess. Trait-wise, it can get Proximity Power, Relentless Strikes, Attrition Orbs, as well as Assassin's Blade, Sharp Harvest, and Wellspring in the first trait slot, with the second trait slot able to get Surrounded, Burning Ambition, Binary Orbit, Elemental Honing, Eager Edge, and Chain Reaction. So there will be some pretty nice combos perk-wise on this. It gets this season's Tenacity Origin trait, as well as Hake Breach armaments as well. So I'd be curious to know what kind of roles you think you'll go after on this. It'll be cool to get a Burning Ambition sword. That could pair up nicely with things like Relentless Strikes. Obviously there are things like Eager Edge as well. I'm not sure how that will actually pair with a Waveframe sword. Give me your thoughts below. Nonetheless, there will be some pretty solid roles to go after on this. And like I said, it will be especially nice if we can get tier 5 versions of it. Otherwise though, the Trachinus, or Trachinus, is a rapid-fire slug stasis shotgun. So it's fast-firing slug rounds with deeper ammo reserves. I'm pretty sure it's the only shotgun in this archetype, and in the first trade slot it can get Lead from Gold, Rhyme Stealer, plus there's Proximity Power, Rapid Hit, Killing Wind, and Transcendent Moment. Then the second slot can get Headstone, Precision Instrument, Chill Clip, as well as Swashbuckler, Binary Orbit, and Encore. Rhyme Stealer and Chill Clip obviously is going to be pretty nice, but you get the other kind of damage bonuses like Swashbuckler, which could pair up fairly well with things like Proximity Power, or you could go Rapid Hit, Precision Instrument. There's a few different options here, and with it being a new archetype, we'll have to try a few out to see what might be most viable. It's also interesting, this is another weapon that kind of has a different model, so this is more of a sort of scout rifle model, but as an actual shotgun. A bit like the SMG model, I think it is, that's put on one of the fusion rifles in this update. So kind of mixes things up a little bit, I suppose, and let us know which of those weapons you'll want to go after in terms of perks, and whether the weapons actually make heavy metal interesting enough in itself. As I know there are some mixed feelings about the game mode specifically. Otherwise though, there'll also be the Heavy Metal title, which requires us to complete 4 of the challenges. So there's Vehicle Compactor to defeat targets with vehicles, we need 150. Kill Streak to defeat multiple targets without dying, that requires 20 kills in a row, as well as Undefeated to get 10 game wins. Another to complete the event track, one to defeat the target leader 20 times, as well as to become a leader 10 times. Then we've got stuff like Valuable Legacy to collect leaders' coins, of which we need 20, and the coins of course drop because it's a Supremacy style mode. And finally, Salvo Sender to defeat targets using your secondary weapon, of which we will need 25. So that pretty much sums up Heavy Metal. But if there are any specifics in terms of actually acquiring rewards, figuring out the reward tiers and things like that, I'll keep you posted after reset today. But keep in mind the game mode will last up until September 9th, and Bungie say make sure you play it as it will no longer be possible to use or claim these items after the event ends. That's in reference to the reward track more specifically. I'm assuming Bungie will probably bring these weapons back again at some point in the future, either from Heavy Metal or a different event. But this will fill the time until we get to Ash and Iron, potentially at least for some players, so let us know if you'll be diving in to check it out. And otherwise, this week, like I said, mainly we're kind of brewing up for Ash and Iron specifically, hoping for more changes coming to progression in general. And I think Bungie had said they're going to preview sandbox changes a little bit more this week as well. Otherwise, we will get the reveal for Renegades on the 9th of September, which will certainly be an important moment too. So it'll be an interesting week in one capacity or another, I suppose. Let me know if you're diving into the game. If you've enjoyed the video today, a rating really does help me out on the channel. But otherwise, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.